Hi friends, it's Becky, and I have the February 2025 bargain bead box to open up and sort with you today. I like to sort my subscription boxes into my 15 grid organizers. It helps me to see everything all laid out when I'm designing from it, and it's stackable, an easy way to keep track of it. Honestly, if I kept it in the bag it came in, I would never use it. Because that's how it always worked for me before. So I'm going to be sorting it as I'm opening and unboxing, as I usually do. And I'm going to give y'all a chance to, if you want to be spoilered, if you haven't gotten your box yet and you don't want spoilers, to move away from this video so that you can come back to it after you get your box. Hit save to watch later and then come back. But if you do want spoilers, then they're going to be right here in this this unboxing. And I also, while I'm getting this out, just want to apologize for being a little low energy right now. I am in a bit of a funk because I was supposed to be spending the weekend with my sister. Like everything was ready to go, the car got packed up. I left on time, which if you know me as a person, you would know that that is like just a wildly improbable thing to ever happen. But I was ready to go see my sister, and then my car had other ideas. So I had to spend Friday night trying to get back to my house with my dog whining in my ear, and I am feeling defeated and just sad because I wanted to see my sister. So I'm working through my disappointment, and I'm hoping that unboxing some beads and sorting it and maybe even making something for my sister. We'll see. We'll see if there's anything in here that I think she would like. But I think that that's what's going to be on the table today. Our trip has not been canceled. It's just been postponed. So I will be going seeing her before the end of February. But it just means that I'm not as energetic as I usually am. And I know a lot of you enjoy my high energy when you're watching my unboxing, so I apologize for that. But I'm sure you can also understand that I am feeling pretty disappointed because I miss my sister and I wish that I was spending that time with her. Anyway, let's move on. Love you, Jenny. I know she's watching. She likes to watch my unboxings too. So let's get this open. We have, this is the part where I'm pretty sure by now, because sometimes YouTube does an autoplay thing. So if it brought this up and you didn't want the spoilers, hopefully by now you've gone ahead and changed, so you won't get spoiled. Underneath this fold is a coupon code for subscribers of Bargain Bead Box to use at the Bead Box Bargains store. They have tons of fantastic beads at really good prices, and you also get 30% off with that coupon code. And they give you a new one every month, but it's good for 2 months in a row. Anyway, let's read our description, and then we'll flip over to the other side and check out some of the findings on here, and then we'll start opening this up, looking at them up close, and getting them sorted. Floral Fantasy. Explore an enchanted garden full of deep blues and purples. Oh, I love that. With this month's collection, Faceted Lapis Lazuli Teardrop with a flowery brass bale combines the faceted agate, matte lapis, electroplated mystic quartz, and handmade lampwork focal floral findings and lots of gorgeously plated crystal to create a magic feel. I am all about that. That is going to be fantastic. There. All right, so we've got all of this listed out. I'm not going to be going down this list since all of the individual beads are labeled, so it might be out of order, but we're going to get to them when we get to them. One thing that they do is they will label the metal components, whether they are, lead-free and cadmium-free, like the lotus flower charms, or if they're lead-free, nickel-free, and cadmium-free, like these flower spacer beads. So it looks like the jewelry chain is nickel-free, and so are the spacers. So those two things I can use in a design for my sister, but not the flower charms, the bead caps, or probably the toggle clasp. That's all right. Okay, but you get the breakdown, all the costs for these things, and then the approximate retail value for that shipment is $87. As a bead subscription is one of the more less expensive bead subscriptions out there. It's less than $25 basically a month for that, and you get all of these beads. They're always really beautifully curated, and I will have a link in the description below with a coupon code that you can use for a certain amount off of your first month subscription if you so choose to use it. It is one of my favorite bead subscriptions ever, so let's get these guys out of the way. Okay, so those are not... Okay, but these are. So these flower spacers and the chain I can use in a design for my sister, but not, well, maybe these, as long as they're not touching her skin. We'll figure it out. But look at these. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful colors. There's a lot of these finishes with like an AB finish or a blue iris finish. Metallic blue plating. Oh, look how cute these are. These are some butterfly earrings. Look at them, cornflower blue. I love butterflies. Brass filigree floral pendant. The lapis lazuli pendant. Oh, these are fun. These electroplated quartz nuggets. All right, let's open these up one by one. Get them. This doesn't say whether it is or not. I might look this up online and see. All right. We'll see what it's doing. Oh, these are pretty. Look at these drops. All right. Let's start sorting these guys. I've got my ladybug dish out here. It helps me bring the beads closer to the camera, and so it can focus on it, and also so that you get a better idea of the actual color. So these are electroplated quartz nuggets. They are purple iris electroplated. There's 7 inches of these, and these are all really rugged shapes. They're very pretty though. Very pretty. I am intrigued by these. These are, just going to put a couple more down here so we can maybe zoom in a little bit and get a better view on some of the plating on here and the way it is catching the light. With that. Isn't that pretty? All right, let's get these guys tucked away in a section of my, oof, you know what? These are chunky enough that they won't all fit in one section, so I'm going to take this down and just make a bigger section so we can get all of these nugget beads in here. Nug life. All right, beautiful. Next, we've got some crackle agate, dyed, heated, faceted rounds. They are mystic blue, and they are 14.5 inches of these 8mm beads. I might have to put down the divider for this one too. Let's zoom in a little bit, get a close-up view of these beads. That's softly faceted, so you can see some of the swirls in here. You can see the way that some of the agate has left different colors when it was dyed and heated. There's a ton of dimension just within this one bead strand. But again, really beautiful beads. I can definitely see like the theme, the fantasy forest. Has our curator of beads, Miss Lauren, has she been reading some dark romantasy? I don't know. But again, yep, there were too many beads for one section, so I am letting them all fit in here. We've got some other chonker beads. Let's go ahead and skip over here to number 6. These are 12 pieces of 12 by 9.5 crystal faceted oval beads in peacock blue. Oh, they were in a bag, but they are also connected with this wire. Ooh. Okay, carefully. I don't like these really fine wires. I often will, they'll poke into my skin, and then it's like, ow, why are you doing this to me? So I try to be really careful with it. All right, let's get right up here with these guys. I love how like some of these facets are polished and some of these facets have a matte finish. So it really highlights the geometrical shapes of that faceting when you get those like little purple and blue and pink pops or triangles on there. That's really, really, really a clever thing to do with that. All right, let's get some more of our beads out here. These are 8mm hematite beads. They're lab-created hematite. They are faceted rounds and they are metallic blue plated hematite. They are 7.5 inches of beads. And this is our close-up of them. I'm just going to give it a wiggle. There we go, so we can see that faceting sparkle. So being hematite, these are heavier than glass beads. So they'll have some substance, some weight to them in there. And then, ooh, take a look at these. This is 6mm lapis lazuli. It's dyed lapis. They are matte rounds, and there are 15 inches of these 6mm beads. So there are quite a few of them. These beads make me think of blue jeans. Let's take a look. It's definitely denim vibes on there. And I think it actually, with all of the shiny and sparkle, having something that is less sparkly, less shiny, gives us a nice little variation in texture as well as the size and color. So give your eyes somewhere to rest. Sometimes like white space in a painting or in an artwork or something gives your eyes a chance to rest instead of like following busyness everywhere. And probably having somewhere in the thing that you're designing, giving a chance for your eyes to rest when you're looking at it is a good idea, because then you won't have so much going on that you can't focus or it hurts your brain or anything like that. All right, there's a lot of metal in here, so let's keep going with this. This is a lampwork glass flecked oval bead. The color here is Azure Skies, and oh my goodness, this is like looking up at just the water refracting on the waves in a pool. If you're in the pool and you're looking up, I love that. That's what this is making me think of. All right, that is gonna fit there. If I need to, I can always lay it across one of these sections here, but I might be able to fit it in there. We'll see. I might be filling up a lot of the space with some metals though. All right, now we've got some triangle beads. These 5mm 6 by 4.5, sorry, faceted crystal. They're triangle beads. They're in slate blue iris, and there's 13 inches of these. These are such a fun bead. Like, I found them really challenging the first few times I got them, but the best and funnest thing that you can do with these is just to stack them together, because they fit together so nicely, or even just separate them with a little spacer in a row. They are really a fun shape to play with. And again, this is on that wire that I don't particularly enjoy, so I'm going to be real careful. All right, there we go. That one's done. This one goes off this way. All right, there we go. I feel like we've got a lot of sort of moody blues in here, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I mentioned the other day that I wasn't done with Moody Blues yet. So here we are. All right, and this one is 4mm crystal faceted bicones. They are in light sapphire AB. So you've got that light sapphire color with that AB coating. And we can get these unstrung. Right. All right, this is kind of going crazy all over the place. So I'm unstringing it on the mat because I can control it a little bit better that way rather than trying to unstring it into a whole section. And I can just scoop it up and get it put away. So thanks for staying with me for that, guys. All right, now we've got these really pretty like duo color. They are violet blue glass tulip beads. There are 10 of them, and they are 10 by 11mm. Let's get up close so you can see all of those pretty colors. They are so pretty. Actually, where is it? I had done something where, nope, it's the wrong color. It's a different color. Those are like almost teal and then red. So I thought I had some beads that were a similar color that I could play around with on that, but nope. This is the color that we've got. All right. And then there are these that are these teeny tiny glass rhinestone flower drops in tanzanite. There are 2 of them, and they are 8mm in size. Look how precious these are. It's like they have an AB finish on them. I'm going to set them in here with my tulips. They are a similar color. They're just a different shape. So when I'm designing, I can still see them there in that section. And I'm probably going to put these guys in there too, if I'm honest. They are embossed cut glass crystal teardrop pendants in Bermuda blue. There are 2 of them, and they are 14 by 7mm. I'm going to flip one of them upside down so that we get a look at both of them on both sides. Look at that crystal drop. I think this would be absolutely beautiful in an earring or something. Stick those guys right there. So pretty. All right, speaking of drops, we've got this teardrop pendant. It has a brass bail. Usually they give us a size on this, but it looks like the bail rotates like that on it. And that bail has some flowers on it. You know, if I wanted to, I could probably, it looks like this is a pinch bail. I could probably open this up, pull off this bail, and wire wrap it with some beading wire that my sister can tolerate, or not beading wire, craft wire, instead of using this bail that came on it. Might do that, actually. Let's get this guy in here. It won't fit in here. You know what? I'm actually not that fond of that bail. I'm not going to be sad if I don't use that bail. It is not my favorite. So let's see if I can get this bail off of here. The pinch bails are usually, they've got those little prongs on the inside. You can open them or close them. Might keep this pinch bail around and use it for something else, but I don't really like it on this pendant. So I may just use this pendant stone in a design on its own without the bail. I'm just prepping that for myself right now. There we go. All right, now let's take a look at these filigree filigree floral links and pendants. The pendant is 30 millimeters in size. And ooh, let's get that guy right up there. So you can see it looks like it is maybe laser cut with that. This would be really, really pretty. You've got a lot of different openings that you could maybe fit some wire through to do some wire wrapping on it. Or just to attach a jump ring to, or maybe a couple of other jump rings to drop some dangles from. A lot of things you could probably do with these. And then we've got these links that are very similar. They are 18 millimeters. And they are the same sort of laser cut brass with the very, very fine metal work in the center. And these links have a hole at the top and the bottom. So I think these are definitely going to be parts of maybe a necklace or something. But let's keep them together in my organizer. This makes me think of like sand dollars almost. That's what I'm feeling when I look at them, sand dollars. Oh, and then we've got our butterfly charms. These are 20 millimeters in size. And let's go ahead and put them down here. I've got one facing downward so you can see the back. But look how beautiful that is. I love that butterfly. And you know what? As long as this part isn't in the air, I bet it could be a nice pair of earrings for my sister. I'm going to make my sister some earrings with these when we are done unboxing. I'm just going to set them aside here. Maybe some of these flower spacers as well. I'm definitely use these for something she can wear, like a bracelet or something, because they will be next to her skin. They're nickel free, but there's 20 of these. And so I pulled 2 of them out. They're 7 millimeters in size. And look at those pretty flowers. It's like an antique gold or antique silver start to finish. So I'm going to stick those guys in there. I am also going to put this chain, which is labeled as nickel free, in the same section so that I don't get confused and forget that this section is safe for Jenny. So that is 1 meter, 8 by 5 millimeter by 4 by 3 millimeter steel Figaro jewelry chain. You know what? This jewelry chain is fantastic. This is going to be really great chain for like extender chains for bracelets, because you have several places where you could attach a lobster clasp. You'd only need like maybe 4 of these to get like about 1.5 inches longer bracelet. This will be a useful chain, not just for this box, but for other applications as well. So I might actually buy some more of this from Bead Box Bargains when they put the extras up for sale on the site, because it is useful. It's nice and bright, and I'm going to just keep that little section as my safe for Jenny section in my findings. And then we've got a toggle clasp. It is platinum plated brass, figural flower toggle clasp. And let's get our toggle out here. Take a look at that flower. Isn't that pretty? Let's get up a little bit closer. They are attached with a jump ring to each other. But of course you can open and close the jump ring. I'm going to stick these guys right here on the front. And then we've got a 30 by 27 millimeter floral pendant. Oh gosh, look at that. It's like a mandala. Ah, I can see this already when you're beading it maybe on a string, you can actually probably fit one of these beads right there between it and then keep beading along the sides. Oh my, yeah, that's what I'm going to do with that one. Definitely. That is really fun. That's a great pendant. All right, and then we've got some floral bead caps. They are 9 by 7.5 millimeter. These are so pretty. Look how intricate those are. How pretty are these? I accidentally put too much of that in there. That's fine. Everything's fine. So I'm going to stick them in there. And then we've also got some lotus flower charms. And there are 10 grams of these. Let's count them out and see how many 10 grams is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, 12 of them actually. So we've got 12 of these charms. How pretty are those? I'm going to stick them over here in that section. All right. So here we are. The 2025 January bargain bead box. And I'm going to see if I can figure out how to make my sister some earrings right here, right now, with these, maybe these guys. A little bit of sparkles, a little bit of sparkle, and some wire. Here we go. That's 18 gauge. How about... Yeah, here we go. Let's use this pewter color. It's very similar to this antique silver color. This is 22 gauge wire. I'm just softening it up a little bit and straightening out the wire. And I'm going to grab a couple of these to make some ear wires for my sister, because the silver plated copper my sister can wear without it bothering her ears. So I'm going to make a couple of ear wires to go with it. And then I'm going to make a couple of links using this 22 gauge wire. And I'm just stacking one of these crystal triangle beads on my wire, putting on one of these floral spacers, and then another crystal bead like that. And then I'm going to make a wrapped loop right here. And to do that, I've got some tools. I've got my flush cutters, some round nose pliers, and a chain nose pliers. And I just grab the wire. I made a little bend, put the round nose pliers over here on the top of the bend, bring it around. I'll walk you through the next one actually a little bit slower, because I just realized that I just started making without really thinking, oh hey, time to talk it through your friends, because maybe some of you haven't seen this before. Alright, here we go. So this is just me making this without telling you why. And I will talk you through the next little bit. I'll even zoom in a little bit so that the camera isn't as confused about what I'm doing. slowed down version of that. I like to work off the spool because then I don't have to like cut off more wire than I'm going to use because I'm very bad at estimating. So I'm going to again start with the beads that I'm using, and I just put them on and then let them slide down next to the spool while I work from the end. Like that, about 2 inches down from the end. I'm going to make a little bend. It doesn't have to be a right angle bend. It can be, you know, a little bit shallower. It's fine. We just want there to be a bend so that when I make my loop, the loop is centered. It's not like pointed off to one side. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to just pop that right on there, right above that bend. You do not have to like hold this really, really tight, just so it's, you know, not going anywhere. One of the biggest things is, you know, maybe not death gripping your wire and your pliers. So now I'm just going to push the end of that around the top of the pliers. And then I need it to go past this wire, so I'm going to open up the pliers a little bit, rotate them up to so that bottom one comes up to the top, and then just keep going around until it crosses over it like the tail of a scarf around someone's neck. And speaking of neck, I'm going to hold onto this loop with my other pliers and use my fingers or another pair of pliers to wrap this wire around the neck. I'm just going to keep going around and around a few times, maybe 3 times. You can tighten up your loops a little bit if you want to. Snip off my excess wire. Straighten that out a little bit more. And then drop my beads up to where that loop is. Now that my beads are up here, I like to measure with my 3 fingers here for how much more wire I need for my second loop. Remember to cut the wire, not your fingers, when you do this. Now I want to make a second loop. I like to start my loops the way I mean to go on. So I like to plan out whether my loop will be perpendicular or parallel to this one. So if it's perpendicular, they'll be at crossways. If they're parallel, they'll both be facing the same direction. And I'm going to want this one to be perpendicular. So when I'm looking at this loop, if it's a circle, that means that my next step will make a perpendicular loop for me. If I turn it to the side so it is a line instead of a circle, then it will be a parallel loop. So this next step, I'm going to hold my link in my chain nose pliers just right up here next to the bead and push that back away from me. And I've got another little bend so I can make another loop. But there's also some space here between that bend and the bead for wrapping. So I'm going to do this next loop the same way I did the first one, by wrapping it up, rotating it, and then going across. But I'm not going to start wrapping it around the neck until after I have attached my my charm. And if it's a little bit too thick and you get some resistance pulling it past here, you can use your pliers and just swing it open a little bit. Just give a little twist, very tiny twist, to open that up so that you can get the thing that you're attaching it to on a little bit easier, and then you can close that up again. I'm actually going to hold on to this with my pliers, this loop right here, and just keep wrapping. Just keep wrapping. There we go. Until it comes up to the bead. You've got some excess wire here. You can give that a little snippy snip, and if there's any bit of it poking out, you can tuck that in with your pliers. Now you've got the first part of your earring done. You've got your dangle attached to the link. The second part is going to be making or using some ear wires, and you may have ear wires that you use already in your stash. If you don't have some ear wires, you can always make some, and I'm going to use my 6-step bell making pliers to make the ear wires for this. And those first 2 little bits of wire that I cut off, I cut them off with the flush side ending on that side. Actually, did I? Yes, I did. So I'm going to take them both in here, and I'm going to use the smallest loop on my 6-step bone licking pliers. You can see where I've set that wire. Just going to wrap it all the way around here until it meets that side like that. And I didn't do a bend first, so you can see that this loop is lopsided and not centered. That's exactly what I want. I'm going to squish it with my pliers. This helps work harden that little loop that I just made, and I'm only squishing the loop because this is a soft wire. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Bring that loop all the way around. Close it up. And give it a squish. And now I've got my two little P shapes, or Q shapes if you're looking at it the other way, or 9s. And I'm going to put them together in this, and I'm going to wrap them around the second largest loop that I have. I want the P shape to face away from that loop, so they're facing towards my largest loop. And then I'm going to just bend them around here till it meets the other side. It doesn't have to be touching. In fact, it's probably better if it's not touching. But now I've got a little bulge and bend, and then right here next to these first loops, I'm going to grab the straight part. I'm just going to give myself a little bend away from here, about a half a centimeter away from that bend. I'm going to flush cut that again. Before I wear it, before my sister wears it, I will be filing this end down with a metal file because it can sometimes be a little bit rough, but I'm not going to do that now. What I am going to do though is smush the round parts of these edges in my pliers to work harden it. See, that kind of flattened it a little bit. This way, these ear wires will last. And now that I've got my ear wires, I can attach them to the earrings that I've just made. And I think my sister will love these. One of the first paintings that we did, we used to paint together a lot on Zoom, was a blue and white butterfly that we painted with watercolors, and it was such a rewarding painting experience because, you know, up until then I had always been really judgmental of my own painting ability, and when we did that one, I finished it and I looked at it and I felt like I did it. I actually made something that looked like art, and that was a really fun memory to have with her. And I think we were both really pleased with our end results when we finished that. So now we're going to have some blue butterfly earrings that she can wear. Anyway, let's zoom back out. Take another last look at this bead box. And once more, I will have links in the description below to Bargain Bead Box if you would like to subscribe, and Beadbox Bargains, where when they have made sure that everybody's packages have gotten to them and they haven't had to ship out replacements and all of that, they will put up extras for these boxes. They also started doing something last year called bundles, where they put together a bundle of beads from the Beadbox Bargains site that they think would go well with these. They're very limited in quantity and they sell out very quickly, so I'm going to keep my eye on their site and hopefully grab myself one of those bundles that I can share with you as well. I hope you're having a great weekend, and if you're not, I hope that you have something that you can find that will bring you some joy, some small amount of joy, because you know what? When you're feeling down in the dumps, sometimes just looking for joy and grabbing onto it where you can is what you've got to do. Till next time, happy beading.